Is biblical creation a conspiracy theory? Welcome to Critical Thinking Scan, where we look at how you can think about any faith-challenging message and arrive at a biblical, logical conclusion yourself. I'm Patricia Engler, and today let's evaluate the claim that creationists are conspiracy theorists. Some creationists and some evolutionists believe conspiracy theories which are inconsistent with observational science. That's unfortunate, but it doesn't tell us whether creation or evolution are true. A more direct jab at biblical teaching says that creation itself is a conspiracy belief, meaning that all creationists are inherently conspiracy theorists. For instance, one study found a moderate correlation between belief in creation, belief in conspiracy theories, and teleological thinking, or perceiving purposes behind things. The authors concluded, "We suggest that this powerful cognitive bias, teleology, extends to social and historical events, and nowadays to conspiracy narratives. As such, creationism could be seen as a conspiracist belief system, indeed involving the ultimate conspiracy theory, the purposeful creation of all things, and conspiracism as a type of creationist belief targeting socio-historic events, e.g. specific events have been purposefully created by an all-powerful agency." So this paper is saying not only can all creationists be called conspiracy theorists, but all conspiracy theorists can be called creationists. Let's think about that. First, this is a correlational study. Showing that one trait can predict another does not mean that the one trait must cause the other or be a type of the other. That'd be like saying writers tend to be tea drinkers, so writing causes tea drinking, and tea drinking is a type of writing. Second, by applying critical thinking check 4, check the definitions, we can see calling all conspiracy theorists creationists requires seriously equivocating the word creation. We can also ask what kind of teleology the study examined. After all, teleology in the sense of perceiving purpose in life is not the same as teleology in the sense of believing that powerful conspirators are deceiving the public. In fact, the study did find that creationism correlated most to attributing purpose to humanity and the universe, but conspiracy beliefs correlated most to rejecting science and attributing consciousness to non-living entities. Those are very different types of teleology. And even if there were only one type, it'd be a fallacy to say all creationists think teleologically and all conspiracy theorists think teleologically, therefore all creationists are conspiracy theorists. You can use a Venn diagram to prove that's invalid, as episode 55 explains. We can further apply check 4 to define conspiracy theory, which the Merriam-Webster dictionary calls a theory that explains an event or set of circumstances as the result of a secret plot by usually powerful conspirators. Is believing that God created humans the same as hypothesizing about some secret plot? Hardly. So comparing belief in creation, which is consistent with observational data, to belief in conspiracy conjectures, which usually aren't, is just the propaganda technique of negative association. Another writer used this technique by saying, "When religious thinkers emphasize hidden powers and purposes underlying a seemingly material reality and claim these hidden purposes are revealed only through special knowledge granted to initiates, they adopt conspiratorial attitudes. And when they charge mainstream science with corruption or comprehensive mistakes so that science becomes a plot to conceal the truth, the resemblance to a conspiracy theory deepens." Well, that comment about special knowledge granted only to initiates negatively associates creationists with secret societies and cults. But biblical creationists don't suggest that only the initiated perceive God's hand in nature. Actually, Romans 1:20 says creation so clearly reveals God's attributes that choosing not to see them is inexcusable. And what about the statement that creationists charge mainstream science with mistakes and corruption? Well, occasional mistakes and data corruption can happen in observational science, but with exceptions like Haeckel's embryos or Piltdown Man, widespread evolutionary beliefs don't generally result from the corruption of observational science so much as from interpreting observations through one worldview. And it's not a conspiracy theory to point out the extent to which this happens. For instance, documents like the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe's Resolution 1580 exhort schools to exclusively teach evolutionary interpretations except in religion classes. And Dr. Jerry Bergman's book, Slaughter of the Dissidents, illustrates how often creationists lose academic positions for their beliefs. So the suppression of non-evolutionary interpretations is an observation, not a conspiracy conjecture. What people think about that suppression may depend on their worldview, but ultimately there is no reason to equate biblical creation with conspiracy theories. For more on how to think critically about faith-challenging messages, you can access my other CT scan videos packed with tactics, tips, and tools that helped me as a Christian student at Secular University. Thank you for watching. Hey, Patricia here. Just letting you know that if you're appreciating this content, you can find much more at answersingenesis.ca. And while you're there, please consider donating to the ministry so that we can keep creating more resources. And however you're watching today, we'd love it if you take a second to subscribe, like, or share this content so it can reach and equip even more Christians. Thank you so much.